Been 12 rounds. He's been 10 on several occasions. He's fought some former champions. He beat Juan Laporte in addition to beating Livingstone Gravel. Also beat Hector Lopez, who had an NABF title in the past.
And a good factor for him too, he has fought in the United States. He's not coming over here making the title fight his first sojourn here, so that doesn't come into play for him here. He got here a few days early, got used to the altitude, the time difference, and stayed away from the tables.
He did indeed. In fact, he even commented, as you look at his amateur record where he did very well, he said, I live in a quiet suburb of Sydney, Australia. They asked him what he thought of Las Vegas. He said, it's a little too noisy for me here. So yes, I don't think he was too involved in all the nightlife and all the rest here. This 25-year-old and his handlers, though, were very upset about one thing. There is no Australian judge for this fight. And there was even talk at a certain point that they would pull out of this fight because of that, but cooler heads prevailed, and he is here. He's now inside the arena here at the MGM.
And it is sort of a ridiculous demand for a challenger to come in and try to decide who the judges are. A lot of times you see that. It seems like a psychological ploy to try to get the champion out of sorts, and they were trying to make an entrance and a statement when they did that.
There is Kostya Tszyu, looking pretty relaxed. And over the ropes he comes.
And that wasn't bad.
That wasn't too bad. What would you give that?
I'll tell you what, on a scale of 6, I'm high up there. I give it a 5.9.
A 5.9. And we know that in this case, the Russian judge would have given him a young man from Australia, who came in with a 13-0 record, 10 KOs. And the interesting thing about him is in his fourth pro fight, he was already fighting Juan Laporte in a 10-rounder. So he has been pushed ahead quickly.
And he had the big amateur experience, 259-11, he said, as an amateur. He got some good styles. He fought a lefty in his last fight. Doesn't think that Jake Roдрiges will be a big problem for him that way. Very cool customer. We'll see how he does early in the fight. That's been his time. 7 knockouts within 2 rounds for him. Does he have the rounds?
Jake Rodraguez finally now making his way to the arena. A young man who is 29 years old and for all the world would have been defined a couple of years ago as a journeyman. He was a guy that nobody thought would win a world title. He got his chance in February of 1994 against Charles Murray, then the IBF junior welterweight title holder, a man considered by many to be almost unbeatable at that weight. Jake Rodraguez took him to school.
And that's why he got the fight, being a 20-1 underdog. If you're good enough to be a 3-1 or 2.5-1 underdog, you'll be ducked for a while. So the best thing that ever happened to Jake Rodraguez is that he got overlooked. It happens once in a while.
And then what happened when this young man forged his own rocky story, as you hear the music playing behind him? He fought Ray Oliveira, 1-12, defending his title, then fought George Scott in Bushkill, Pennsylvania, knocked him out at 9. And I think you will agree with me, has shown that he is a better fighter since he became a champion.
Better fighter, working with Pernell Whitaker, certainly didn't hurt him at all, and he's a better fighter as the bouts go on. Against George Scott here, he came on and was able to stop the fight late after Scott had gotten a good start in the bout.
Most people don't think of Jake Rodraguez as a huge puncher, and in fact, he usually wears opponents down. But he certainly does have enough pop in his punch to make you respect him.
Well, many fighters have ebb and flow in their bouts, but when Jake Rodraguez takes over a fight, it's usually permanent, whenever that moment comes.
Here he comes. He has relished the moment here in the last few days. This, of course, a fight fought on pay-per-view, his first in an arena like this one at the MGM. And when we talked to him yesterday, he said, you know, I could have gotten even a little more attention, but with all these champions, I understand why I haven't.
Maybe that's why he fights so well on his cards, too. He hasn't had to deal with a media blitz yet in his career.
The flag of Puerto Rico, where he was born, and the United States, where he resides now in central Islip, New York. Jake the Snake Rodraguez, who comes in here ironically as an underdog to Kostya Tszyu. He is kind of the Rodney Dangerfield of champions, isn't he?
Especially when you consider the fact that Tszyu is not a household name. He comes in against somebody, it's not a major Olympic champion, so that's why Jake Rodrigues likes to think of himself as Rodney Dangerfield.
Well, we will find out how it all plays out. Let's do that by going to Michael Buffer.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Top Rank Incorporated, along with your undisputed, undefeated King of Beers, Budweiser, present championship bout number 3 out of 4. This contest is sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Official at ringside shall remain the same, along with the International Boxing Federation. Supervisor at ringside for the IBF is Robert Weitzel. The 3 judges assigned to score this bout on a 10-point must system will be Bernie Cormier, Don O'Neill, and Chuck Jampa. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, working in a world title bout for the 107th time, referee Richard Steele. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the MGM Grand Garden here at the MGM Grand of Las Vegas, Nevada, 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF Junior Welterweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks and weighing in at 139 pounds. He comes to us from the land down under, Sydney, Australia. His record, a perfect 13-0, 10 KOs to his credit. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the undefeated challenger, Kostya Czyu. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the red trunks with white trim, weighing 139.5 pounds. Fighting out of Central Islington, New York, he brings a professional record of 26 victories with only 2 defeats, 2 draws, 7 KOs to his credit. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the IBF Junior Welterweight Champion of the World, Jake the Snake Roдрiges.
Jake Rodraguez not looking at Kostya Tszyu, looking down instead. And we're heading into our 3rd of 4 championship matches. That's the challenger, Kostya Tszyu, young man from Australia, originally from Russia, and Jake Rodraguez from Puerto Rico, living in the United States. Rodraguez is the left-hander. He makes no bones about it. When you say to him, what's your biggest advantage? He said, I'm a lefty.
That's why you have to like a guy who knows what his selling point is, and down he is.
Wow.
Tszyu wasn't kidding. Not being bothered by lefties.
That is a shock. I am astonished to see Jake Rodraguez go down so early. He is not the kind of guy that goes down.
Charles Murray didn't do it.
Man, Kostya Tszyu with a big right hand, and Rodraguez cornered there. Tszyu is very potent early, and Rodraguez told us, he said, I know he's going to be tough early. He said, I have to get through that. Let's see if he can do it.
Well, knowing it and being able to do it is 2 different things, and he's in trouble again with the lead right hand.
Charles Murray tried to hit him with that right hand for 12 rounds and couldn't do it. Kostya Tszyu has done it twice and hurt him here in this 1st round. Well, Jake Rodraguez shocked here in the 1st round. In his 3rd title defense.
Kostya Tszyu going for it early. He knows this is his best chance right now.
And a lot of patience by Kostya Tszyu. So, Jake Rodraguez halfway through round 1, just trying to make sure he gets through this round. In his 3rd defense of the IBF title, and so far it's a rugged one. Boy, the right hand of Czu is getting in every time he throws it, Dave. I've never seen anyone land the right hand that often against Rodriguez.
Jake Rodriguez should try to tie up right now just to get through this round and slow down the pace. Kostya Czu is cutting off the ring effectively, scoring with his big right hand. Jake Rodriguez is on unsteady ground.
A minute left to go in round one.
Now, what is Jake Rodriguez doing in the corner? That's also not like him.
He was rocked by that right hand by Kostya Czu, and I don't know that he's ever quite gotten his senses back. Under a minute left to go in round one. The champion, Jake Rodriguez, has been down and has been hurt here in the first round.
Jake Rodriguez is like a good pitcher. You have to get to him early, and Czu has.
The left hook has Rodriguez reeling. Rodriguez trying to fight off the ropes, lands a good left hand. So it's survival time in this first round for Jake Rodriguez, and boy, he's having a hard time with it. 17 seconds left. They will seem like an eternity to Rodriguez. Jake lands a left hand. Kostya Czu, in his first major TV appearance here in the United States, has been all that he was advertised. My first look at him live, as it is yours, and I'll tell you what, he's impressive.
Okay, in my pocket here. Reach in that pocket to strengthen there. Got it? Okay. Just relax and listen to Dave now. Listen to Dave. Go on, Dave. Listen to me.
Move your head and jab. If you don't do nothing in the next 2 rounds, he ain't dick.
Yeah, he's doing it. So here it is right here.
Back and stop. Put some wood on your back.
Well, Czu almost wins the fight right here. The jab by Rodriguez, he doesn't bring it back. The little shuffle step by Czu, very impressive, sets up the knockdown. I think his quickness there surprised Jake Rodriguez, especially for so early in the fight. Usually the feeling out process, and here again it almost lands for Jake Rodriguez. A big right hand. He almost went out of here in round one.
You know what that right hand reminded me of a little bit? Remember when Michael Nunn knocked out Sambu Kalembe?
Yes.
In the first round, no one ever thought that could happen. It was a roundhouse kind of a punch just like that. In this case, Rodriguez didn't stay down. We're into round two. It's scheduled for 12. Jake Rodriguez in the red, the IBF junior welterweight title holder against challenger Kostya Czu from Australia by way of Russia. And Czu has shown us early that his reputation as a puncher, the 10 KOs and 13 wins, is legit.
That impressive shuffle step setting up the knockdown. Rodriguez thought he could retreat a little bit after missing his jab, and that quick step by Czu cut off the distance, and he went right at him. Had he tried to do that from outside, he would not have gotten home with that shot.
2 minutes left to go in round two, and Rodriguez was outlanded 25-9 in power shots in round one.
There were about 3 shots in round one, which nearly ended it on him. Jake Rodriguez again putting himself into the corner. That's very unlike him. It's a sign of a fighter who's a bit unsteady.
And Czu landed the right hand again. And if you have not seen Jake Rodriguez fight before, it is astonishing to see him getting hit with these many right hands.
Czu is cutting off the ring effectively, and Jake Rodriguez is moving straight back after Czu attacks, and he's making it easy for Czu to go to that straight line and land the right hand here.
There is an abrasion underneath the eye of Kostya Czu. Under a minute left to go in round two. Jake Rodriguez has stabilized himself to some degree, but not able to do much offensively against Czu.
We're not accustomed to seeing Jake Rodriguez push his punches out either. He's pouring with his left hand. That's supposed to be his power hand.
There's the jab. Now they told him jab and move your head to Rodriguez. He's doing neither very effectively right now. just getting nailed with right hands. There's another one. So, only a few seconds remaining here in round two. Round two has been as difficult for Rodrigues, almost as round one. He hasn't been knocked down or hurt, but he's taken a lot of shots from Czyu. That'll do it for round two. We follow the Australian-based fighter into his corner.
Let me take it out. From the side. From the side. Okay. Hold that quick. I will. Listen, use the lap. Pick the wall up, man. Pick the wall up, man.
They must like what's happening, not too many instructions.
Yes, back in the ice, mate. Is he had a rinse?
Oh, look at those numbers, Dave.
You don't usually see Jake Rodrigues being outlanded like that, and he throws a lot more. He's had some big numbers throughout his career. And Jake Rodrigues again taking more big shots. The right hand, 2 shots from the outside, and Czzu's movement has been the subtle key to this fight. A little slide stepping.
We head into round 3 in this IBF Junior Welterweight title match. It's scheduled for 12. Jake Roдрiguez is in red. He's the champion. Kostya Tszyu, the challenger, has had Rodriguez down in round 1 and has had him hurt on a couple of different occasions.
Fighters who have gone so many rounds, they understand the pace of the bout. They know when the ring is being cut off on them. But Tszyu is doing it quicker than Jake Rodriguez expects.
Rodriguez pushed him back with a good straight left hand. Let's see if that had any impact on Kostya Tszyu.
Well, Jake Rodriguez must establish his mugging ability in this bout.
Getting inside and making that kind of pace. Right?
Pushing off, doing some of the dirty work, whatever the referee allows you to do inside, he has to do that so that Tszyu doesn't keep coming right in on him.
And the jab is really part of that, though, because like that, he's got to land the jab to get on the inside.
Rodriguez showing a little bit more in this round. And Tszyu is looking to plant that right hand behind a miss by Rodriguez.
Let's remember, though, what Tszyu's history has been and what Rodriguez told us the other day. He said he's dangerous early and he's going to try and get me early. If I don't go out, I think as this fight wears on, he's going to get more cautious and I'm going to come forward. We're seeing evidence of that, Dave, already.
Talking about that as we were at the top, that Jake Rodriguez from about round 5 on, the key is what did Tszyu take out of him in the early part, and that's what creates the intrigue. Who makes the most of his best scenario?
Now, there was a right hand by Tszyu that landed, a good right hand. It didn't have the kind of impact on Rodriguez that the earlier ones had.
Well, for the first time, he was on his heels when he threw it, too, because Jake pushed him off the mark a little bit.
Kostya is moving back a little bit more, but he lands a good counter shot there.
As usual with Jake Rodriguez's fight, it's starting to get fun.
Under a minute left to go in the round. Good left hook by Tszyu. Rodriguez trying to establish his jab here in round 3, and to some degree has done it.
And Tszyu squares up at certain times, and he has stopped Jake Rodriguez's momentum for a minute when he did that.
Well, it's still been difficult for Rodriguez to land his punches offensively. Tszyu has done a pretty good defensive job. So in round 3, things get a little bit more even. I don't know if it's a round that Rodriguez won, but he certainly did better than he did in rounds 1 and 2. Nice crowd on hand here at the MGM Grand Garden, and they are being treated to some fine boxing. Alex Sanchez won in our first match by decision, and Gabe Ruelas beat Freddie Liberatore in TKO after the second round.
We've had knockdowns in the first round of every fight.
It's true. What would be the proposition bet on that, huh?
How about for sweeping the card at least 100 to 1?
See him pulling his arm back, right? Okay.
Two things.
Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, the hook, and don't let him get set. Bing, bing, bing. When he tries to get set, bing, bing, bing. When he okay? He can't fight unless he's set. The hook is.
Oh, Jake Rodriguez getting a sense of what he must do here. Countering shot over the top, and he actually made Tszyu miss. So he threw off the distance of Kostya Tszyu there in round 3.
We head into round 4, and the advice they gave him, very interesting. They said Tszyu can't fight unless he's set. They want Rodriguez to initiate the pace a little bit more.
Yeah, but you know what? I disagree with their analysis after that round, because Tszyu has shuffled himself into position to get set to do his best damage thus far in the fight. He's had some very quick feet and gotten himself some good punching opportunities. And there's another example of it. He turns quickly and set up his own shot.
Right hand by Tszyu, but Rodriguez got a right hook in. I wonder, though, even though Jake Rodriguez isn't landing that effectively, is he starting to make a small change in the tactic of this fight?
He's certainly been able to do that in the last half of the round, and here, tying up, slowing down the pace. You're seeing a little more of the Jake Rodriguez left hand.
He's starting to make Tszyu miss a little bit more, although Costa is still, I think, landing more punches. And good right hook by Rodriguez, pushes Tszyu back a little bit. Costa, a young man who had a great amateur career in the Soviet Union, won over 200 fights, moved to Australia a couple of years ago, has been a real favorite in that part of the world.
He's really got a nice build, too. You can see him both as a slick boxer and as somebody with some pop.
He is the quintessential boxer puncher.
One of the actual rare ones. So many of the fighters call themselves that, and they're not.
That is true. Sometimes they're neither. Over a minute left to go here in round 4. Al Bernstein, Dave Bontempo, happy you joined us on the eve of the Super Bowl. Got some super fights going.
And we're seeing the grittiness that we expect to take place in this bout. Jake Rodriguez has recovered and now makes maybe his biggest statement of the fight there with the right hook. He'll try to go back to it.
Rodriguez has a pretty good right hook when he throws it in a compact way. He is not getting hit as often with those right hands now. You have to say that for Rodriguez.
Jake Rodriguez has to force the pace of this fight throughout the middle rounds to try to set up something big at the end. He cannot let Tszyu coast during the middle rounds here.
Straight left gets in to Kostya Tszyu, and there's the right by Tszyu. Richard Steele getting some help from Rodriguez, who wants him to warn or take a point away from Tszyu for holding behind the head. So we wind down in round 4, a round in which Rodriguez has had some better moments, but Kostya Tszyu is still pinpointed him with some of those good combinations. Fernando is in the locker room of Billy Schwer, the fighter from England. Let's go to Fernando right now.
Thank you, Al. Billy, do you think the Ruela's height is an advantage or a disadvantage to you?
Here. Looks good. He's not too much taller than me. There's not a lot in it, really. So it's going to be a good fight. He's not all that much taller than me. He's only about an inch and a half taller than me. So I don't think it's going to be a disadvantage, not at all.
Have you fought anybody that, with his physique, you know, he's tall, lanky?
Yeah, a couple of fights ago, I fought a Canadian, Howard Grant. He was unbeaten. He was very tall, very much similar to Ruela's.
Thank you very much. Good luck. Back to you, Al.
Thank you, Fernando. We peek in on Kostya Tszyu, and here's Jake Rodriguez with some action.
And body by Jake and left hook by Jake. It's his shot in there, and maybe he's getting his range in this fight.
We'll see. We head into round 5. Billy Schwer, one of the numerous fighters who have not fought in the United States on this card. Right. The totals through round 4. Interestingly, it's not that one-sided. 101 punches landed by Tszyu of 282, and 74 landed of 245 for Jake Rodriguez. But the knockdown, of course, giving Tszyu a bigger edge.
And Jake Rodriguez is trying to turn the complexion of the fight. But Tszyu is more durable than his other opponents, and Tszyu has the knowledge of that fast start, which he has been able to play off.
Jake Rodriguez looking to Richard Steele for some help. Good right, hurt Rodriguez. Couple of good rights by Tszyu. Looked like it rocked Jake Rodriguez.
Gave him a brief taste of spaghetti legs there.
Another right. Jake Rodriguez showing us a lot of grittiness here. He's backing up. I think
he's taking some big right-hand leads, too.
Kostya Tszyu landing more right hands against Jake Rodriguez than I think anyone has done in the last 5 fights I've seen him in. Jake is hurt.
And Jake cannot be standing there like that. He's taking one big shot trying to load up, but Jake Rodriguez is not a puncher.
He is definitely hurt. Kostya Tszyu has him in trouble. What is keeping him up right now, I don't know. He has been rocked with those right hands.
And there you see Tszyu again turning into his punches.
And Jake goes down. That was a knockdown. I don't know why he didn't call that a knockdown. Jake went down on his own. He went down so he could get the rest. Bad call by Richard Steele.
Yet another bad call. That's a horrible call. Or a horrible non-call in this case.
Jake went down because he was hurt.
Well, Richard Steele blew that one.
Good hook by Kostya Tszyu.
And more pressure by Tszyu here.
So Jake Rodriguez suffering through a terrible round 5.
And he catches quite a break. It's not called a knockdown. This should be a 10-8 round.
Yeah, huge break. So he got the benefit of going down and still got the rest, but didn't get the knockdown called against him. Either way you look at it, though, it's been a big round for Kostya Tszyu. Half a minute left to go in round 5. There's another right by Tszyu. We were told this young man was a puncher, and he's showing us that against Jake Rodriguez. Not a guy you can hurt easily.
Think of all the fighters who could not do this to Jake Rodriguez, starting with Charles Murray.
Charles Murray among the most elite of this group that hasn't. Ray Oliveira couldn't do it against him. Sergey Artemiev. That'll do it for the round, and Jake Rodriguez ambles back after another tough one.
You all right?
Yeah.
Okay. About to listen to Dave then.
Okay.
Let's go.
Oh, no, that's it, man. Wait, got the